Yes, I'm extremely happy to have you on the call this morning. My name is Bugembe Andrew. I'm already up and excited, ready to get on with the work. I'll not share my video as such because I want us to focus on the screen. So, subject this morning is exactly what happens when we go through a one-on-one. And I'm going to try and keep it as short and simple as possible. My prayer is that the recording that will be gotten out of here, I know there are a number of recordings still underway. It's the process of deliver them to you that sometimes can be a hassle, but all the same, my prayer is that this information from this morning will be shared with you and it will help you to acquire the skill on how to present the new life business. Um, The new life business is based on us meeting new people. And what do we tell the new people? We tell them the information I'm going to share with you today. We have come through the process of sponsoring, learning what it takes to sponsor. We started with having a dream. After having a dream, we went on to discuss further what it means to do a name list. Once we are done with the name list, we went on and also discussed about the aspect of how we meet new people and how we work with the people we already know. How do we contact them? And the whole idea of us contacting them, learning how to contact them, is so that we meet them for this one-on-one we're going to discuss today. And then we went on, and a few weeks ago, we also discussed about, actually it was last week, we talked about how to prepare for that one-on-one. Mr. Mimwebaze, our team member, took us through what tools we need for the one-on-one. Now, today is the one-on-one. Today is the day that we're going to have that one-on-one. Ladies and gentlemen, in the beginning, you are doing this together with the person who sponsored you or your director for that matter. And oftentimes it's important for you to even just prepare and brief the person very, very seriously about the prospect you're going to meet. Because sometimes when you start out in the business and you're doing this by yourself, it can be quite challenging because you don't have the skill. You need to see someone do it so that you can learn. And then after that, begin doing it yourself. So in the beginning, when you need some help and you're getting someone to come through and help you present this information, it's very important that you brief that person about the prospect. You know, what connects or relates you with the prospect. Let them have an idea why your connection is. Because remember, this business is built on trust and credibility. When you invite someone who has trusted you or trusts you and finds you credible, it's easier for you to pass on the information. It's easier for them to open up their hearts to you. It's important that you inform the person that you're inviting for that one-on-one, your upline, the person that is going to help you do the one-on-one, the presenter, what the name of your prospect is, perhaps how old they are. That gives you an idea of what kind of needs they might need. Where do they come from? It gives you an idea of how you can connect with them. What is their profession, their marital status? The last one is not necessary, but it's also important. If someone has grandchildren and children, then it's also important for you to just know what their priorities are at that point in time. Okay. However, it's just for you to make note of that. That is how the sitting arrangement looks like. I want to also make a disclaimer. That particular picture was taken in Dar es Salaam and were on holiday, and the distributor who invited the prospect had, had divided into the warehouse in Dar es Salaam, and we were not appropriately dressed. You know, remember we talked about dressing, and Janet took us through a very good session on dressing. This meeting, it's always important that you dress business professional, but all the same, like I've said, it's not cram work. You might be on holiday somewhere and you've met someone. You don't have to go back inside and put on a suit, come and present to them. No. However, it's appropriate, most appropriate dress code for this meeting should be business professional. So in that picture, you will see three people. One is the prospect who has been invited by the distributor. Another one is the distributor who invited the prospect. That distributor is very important. Please don't tell people to go and meet other people for you and you're not there. You're the reason those people are going to come. You're the reason they are going to appear. You're the reason they are going to be in they're going to be in the midst, because you are the trust and credibility of this whole relationship, of this whole presentation. Yeah. It's also important for your presenter also be available. And that is how we do it. That's the watatu watatu principle. You go 3-3, you meet people as three, so that you're able to easen the work of everybody. And okay, moving on now. So when you meet someone, and I think this is now where it's 6 or 7, so I'm hoping that I should be able to do this in 25 minutes. So what happens is that many of us have had that tool before. It's a tool that is readily available right now. Sorry, it was not available for a few weeks. It's really a locally made to help you be convinced, to kind of give you how can I call it, an African touch to it. And usually I'll put the book. It's a presentation chart. I'll put the book right there. I'm getting distracted a bit. Let me just take off this video. I'll put the book right there on the table, and I'll ask the distributor to introduce the guest to us. Please don't wait to be asked. It's important that as the distributor who has put this meeting together, the people you've contacted, I don't know them. The person presenting does not know them. Your upline does not know them. So take a moment and welcome us, introduce the guest. Okay. Then the distributor also introduces you, the presenter, to the guest. And use normal terminologies. Please, the use of words like president's team, world team, director. Director may be something that the normal people understand, but it's understood differently. Use the normal terminologies that this person is a lawyer, this person is a teacher, this person is a social worker, and when business together, he's my business associate. I'm working with him in this particular field of near life. Then the distributor, it's also important for you to share that part of the story of how you met the opportunity or the presenter, so that it connects for the guest. The guest wants to know, how did you guys meet? Yeah, you know how you met your guest and how you came to be in contact with the prospect. But the prospect wants to know what brings this third person, the presenter, into our meeting today. So it's good for you to give them a background. Sometimes it could be a product, sometimes, but it's everything you did before coming to meet in your life, or up to the point of meeting in your life. It's also important that once the presenter has been, and that is the upline or the presenter has been introduced, the presenter also shares their new life story before coming into new life, what happened. So if it is like me, I'll talk about the fact that I came across this opportunity, and like you've seen there, it's always good to note that you ask the guest where they have come across the new life opportunity. So I'll talk about the fact that prior to meeting this opportunity, I was on my way to getting into the university for my first year of electrical engineering, and I was just getting ready to get into the university for that course. That is when I was introduced to the new life opportunity, and I came to appreciate it. I was looking for something I could do part-time that would increase my personal or my income, and at that point I didn't even have an income. So when someone shared with me this opportunity, I was very, very open to looking at what New Life has to offer in order to help me increase my additional income. I could also talk about the fact that I could have done a few other businesses prior to this. I was involved in a farming project with my father. I was also involved um, trying to put people together to see whether I could lend out some money, could save money together and lend that money out to distribute to different people, but it didn't get off quite well. So I'll talk about some of the things I did before coming to meet this opportunity and how I came to meet this opportunity as a student. Your story is what connects you and the guest, you and the prospect. If your story um, has a very good identification, you and the distributor that has invited you to the meeting, if your stories have a good connection, then it becomes easier for you to connect with the guest. Now, then okay, I've already said that. So when the distributor does share, and that is before you invited, it's like I've said, just talk about what motivated you to look at New Life. Was it a product? Was it the situation you were faced with at the point in life? Was it a certain fear of loss? You know, you're basically telling your prospect what exactly brought you together in as far as, and that identification process is what opens up the meeting, the 30 minutes meeting that you're having for the rest of the time. If you don't do the identification very well, the prospect is not going to be open-minded to looking at what you've got. You know, now there is that page. That page basically communicates the kind of approach we use to communicate our information. Okay, and I'm talking about the presentation chart that we oftentimes do use to share the information New Life has to offer. So you don't have to talk about it, but in case you really want to talk about it, let's talk about the fact that we use a one-on-one approach to try and pass on this opportunity to help you understand what New Life has to offer. Then, then comes that page. That page basically introduces New Life, and it helps introduce New Life. The way the presentation has been done is like a PowerPoint. It's supposed to help you talk about New Life without you having to strain your mind. That's why even a brand new distributor, if they purpose to learn this skill, they can actually learn it. So when you get to that page, it basically talks about introducing New Life. As you can see, it has the bit of since 1958. So it's important that you notify the prospect that New Life has been running since 1958. Remember, this is your presenter that is presenting this. As you, the distributor who has invited the presenter, if you've not yet learned, this is when you're supposed to be picking up the skills of learning how to present. You can talk about the founder. I don't talk about the founder because not many people are that interested. Unless someone asks, so where does the company come from? I'll tell them it comes all the way from the US. The gentleman there, Jerry Brasfield, is the one who started the company, had issues with asthma at the age of 19, and was able to start using very good food, and he was able to recover, or he was able to feel better after using that food. And then I went on to start the New Life family, which then has those values. So I'll talk about Jerry Bass. For me, I'll do it only on a need basis, and it's okay. Whatever works for you is what you go with. I'll talk about the values. Oftentimes I'll not spend so much time on the values. So every page should be about a minute each. I'll talk about the mission of the company. I'm very particular about the number of countries because this also shows how far the company has gone. And if you want to talk about when the company came to Africa, it was in 1971. If you want to talk about when the company came to East Africa, it was in 1996. So that's basically the information around that page. Then I'll move on to this page that introduces the product ranges that form the basis for the New Life business opportunity. Ladies and gentlemen, it's very important for you to, this is like your agenda of sorts. It's important for you to tell the guests that, you know, we have products that help with cleaning, products that help with agriculture, the skincare, and the healthcare. Let the prospect know that it's important for them to know about all the product ranges for their own good. Sometimes we go into these meetings thinking that people are going to think about just one thing. You know, even if I meet someone who wants to know about the heart, unless if it's an emergency, if I meet someone who wants to know about Supergrow, unless if it's an emergency, I'll always tell them, you know what, since you've given me 30 minutes, allow me to spend some 10 minutes on all the product ranges, and I'll focus on what you exactly want to do. And people are always very open-minded to get more information, because people are looking for solutions to different things, you know. And definitely, if someone is not interested in something, they'll even tell you, you know what, okay, it's okay. Maybe talk about the cleaning, but about the farming, I'm not interested at all. And it's fine. You can always skip the farming. At that point, you begin identifying a need for the prospect. So when you come to this page introduces the core cleaning products. And you have a minute or two to share your 4 key products. And it's also important that if you have an opportunity to demonstrate, you demonstrate them. It's always an advantage to you, for the prospect to see and feel the product. That's why sometimes I tell people, have a mixing bottle, have a spray bottle, have mixed with that has LDC now and has care, and also have the D1 laundry with you practically. Because when the prospect is actually seeing and feeling these products, they are getting, it's easier for them to appreciate what you have to offer. Okay, so this is another page where you have a minute or two to share those 4 key products. So you will talk about the Super 10 and what it does. Everything is written right there in front of you. The fact that the products are versatile, the economical, the non-toxic, the biodegradable, literally reading this off the page. So you don't even have to go through the moment of cramming. Even a new distributor who has just started yesterday, if they acquire the skill on how to present this information and they're actually using the products, it's easy for them to start presenting this information to another person. Okay, so I'll go through each and every one of them. I'll spend about 30 seconds just talking about each and every one of them, showing the prospect how the products actually look like. Then I'll move on to the super group. Try to introduce the super group. You have a minute or two to share. You can also demonstrate. If you're somewhere, you can do the glyph demonstration if there's prospect. So I'll always take a moment to demonstrate if the prospect's attention and focus is on that product. Yeah. Here, I'll oftentimes demonstrate the LDC. Or I'll take a moment just talking about the D1 laundry. Here, if the prospect really is a prospect that wants to know more about Supergrow, I'll take a moment demonstrating the Supergrow as well. Okay, focus on the problems that Supergrow solves, and that is basically water irritation and it being a sticker. So, ladies and gentlemen, it's critical that as you present each and every page, focusing on the problems that New Life has to offer. You know, sometimes we go so much into detail, talking about so many different things, too much detail of what people would want to listen. Remember, this is a summary, it's an introduction to New Life and the solutions that New Life offers. You want to be quick, you want to be in time so that the prospect is actually able to follow you up. Then I'll take them through the pages on the skin. Sometimes as I go through the skin, some people don't even want to know about the skin, especially the men don't even care in most cases what the skin is all about. So do not force it. Sometimes just tell them they're very wonderful products that help you with the skin and then move on to the next page. But sometimes you'll find people who are actually interested in the skin. This is when your product catalog becomes very important. If a question is asked around the skincare products, then bring out your New Life product catalog and go to the skincare product page and begin to give details in as far as the nutrients organic skin care range is concerned. All right, this again should take you a minute or two. However, if the prospect finds that this is where the need lies, then maybe you can spend some more time on that area. This page was intentionally put there. It's supposed to be a pause to show your prospect that you are now moving on to a more important part of the presentation, which is basically your health. And then I'll get into that story right there. This is the tree and end story, where you talk about the fact that people are born to 25, they're vibrant, 25 to 50, they get tired, 50 sick. That's the New Life story. That's the tree and end story. So you'll go through that. It should take you about a minute to share this page actually, where you're talking about health status, talking about the good health requirements, talking about the diet versus nutrition, and then there's also that bit of live versus live, something that I got to learn a couple of years ago that for me has worked extremely well for me because it kind of comes in with a different aspect to how to introduce the pyramids, okay? And then you'll go through the healthy food pyramid, starting with exercise and weight control. And then you'll have about 1 minute as well to share on this page. It's good if you can, you demonstrate the whole grains because I'll tell you, right here in Uganda, a lot of people don't even know what whole grain food is like. So if you have a bit of rice, you have whole bread, sweet whole wheat bread, it's good for people to actually see how this bread looks like. How does this rice look like? So that you can have an idea of exactly what you're talking about. Remember, people, The more you show, the more you make people see and feel what you are talking about, the easier it becomes for them to understand. Then you turn that around, you talk about the problem. Now, this is what presents the problem. Remember, every business has a problem that it is solving. So you've been talking all this time, you're talking about solving the issues to do with cleaning, the issues to do with the super grow, the issues to do with the skincare. You're also now talking about the problem that we face around the kind of diet that we're eating. So you have about 2 minutes to share this part of the presentation, how we have turned this upside down, explain and give relevant examples, how we all have cooking oil and sugar in our homes, and how this has been ongoing for a couple of years, and therefore it has led to a lot of non-communicable diseases, or what we call chronic issues out there, the likes of heart disease, pressure, and so on and so forth. And it's important for someone to help someone understand that bit. Then bring in what the solution is like. Bring in what the solution is like. This page explains the solution. You have another 2 minutes. So explain what training does. The fact that it's extracted from whole grains, it contains lipids and sterols. What is the importance of the lipids and sterols? They help the nutrition get into the cell and the wastes to get out. Without lipids and sterols, without chips and sausages and so on and so forth, you'll find that the nutrients don't get in and the waste don't get out. So go ahead, explain the carotenoid complex, how it's made from fruits and vegetables, probably add on a bit of information in there, how it increases the immunity by 37% in 20 days. Talk about the new life shake, turn to amino acids, talk about the omega-3, how it reduces inflammation, and how it's the good fat that our body requires. And basically introduce the whole solution as new life shake and pro vitality. It's unfortunate we don't have pro vitality in Uganda, but we do have the 3 products now with us in Uganda. We have training, we have carotenoid, and we have the omega-3. So sell to them that as the solution so that they can be able to appreciate what you have to offer. This page goes on to explain the most common objection that we have. We really need supplements. A lot of people have that question around them. And that is why that particular page was put there. I can grow my food in my garden. That's why a lot of people have issues with, say, taking supplements or taking food in form of supplements, tablets. So you also have 1 minute to explain the whole farm to table process, how nutrients are lost along the way between the farm, the market, and the kitchen. And then when they get to the kitchen, the nutrients are further lost from it being raw, being boiled, being roasted. So we just end up eating for taste as opposed to having your body nourished. You can also talk about the scientific advisory board that is behind the science that our products are about. And then go ahead, share a little bit of the testimonies. We thank God that Moses and Margaret were able to allow us to use that particular testimony. Please go ahead and then share your testimony as well. This helps the person begin to identify their own need. So you have about 2 minutes to share your testimony, share the ones in the book, allow the distributor to also share their own testimony as well in that process. So remember, notice that this is a little bit interactive. It's interactive. You're talking about each and every single thing. So share the relevant testimonies either from your phone. Sometimes I've had a situation where someone is talking about being diabetic, and then I have to share with them a testimony from the gentleman who helped us do their testimony all the way from Iganga, Mr. Wambi, So go ahead and share the relevant testimonies. And then these other pages now basically become pages where you're actually searching for the prospect's need. They're supposed to entice the prospect to think about their need. So I'll just go over them and I'll only explain the page where the prospect actually has the need. So I'll talk about other solutions that we have to offer, like the children's nutrition. I'll talk about immunity. Okay, I'll spend a minute talking about immunity. Why am I talking about immunity? I'm just talking about immunity for about 30 seconds. Just telling them, what, we have things to do with our immunity that our new life opportunity, our new life business can be able to solve as a solution. We have things to do with balanced sugar levels. You realize I am not talking about diseases. I'm trying to talk about things that we can be able to solve out there. We want to approach this from the fact that people need to understand that before you get sick, you have to prevent. If you can prevent, you can be able to help yourself live a healthier life. Prevention is better than cure, We talk about a couple of things. Sometimes I don't tell someone that they're fat. Sometimes I just go to that page and I'm talking about how you can have this a healthy weight loss program with us. And if they're interested, they'll actually stop you. And that's how you know they are actually interested. I'll talk about prostate health. I'll talk about bone and joint health. But all this is 30 seconds, 30 seconds, because you want to be done with this presentation in about 30 minutes. So all those pages are just basically to try and help identify the prospect's need. At the end of the day, we are looking for what does the person need, not what you are interested in showing them. It's very good information, but what does the person need? Eventually, if they want more information, they'll get back to us and they'll be able to give us a particular page or a particular issue that they want us to resolve in their lives. Then immediately, again, you have that page. That page helps you transition into the business side. So explain to the prospect that you would want to conclude in the next 5 minutes by sharing your story and how you've benefited from your life. This is how I actually do it, because at the end of the day, you don't want to go into another whole presentation as far as the business is concerned. So you actually present the business by sharing your story. And then I'll take a moment, talk about that page as well. Sometimes I skip it, especially if I know the prospect is mature. But for a lot of the younger people who are not aware of the cash flow quadrant, I'll take them through that bit to help create a need for the business side. I'll telling them what it takes to have a business or to have an income that is not dependent on your presence. All of us are looking for a cash flow, an income that will continue to come whether you're there or not. Okay, explain to people why one should start the business. Sometimes you're looking at any one of those things. Sometimes it could be retirement. Sometimes it could be the fact that you are not getting enough of the money. There's too much of expenses out there. Okay, explain what a business is. It's also important. Sometimes I'll explain to you what a business is, especially the younger people, so that they understand what it means to be in business. There must be a product or service. And then share your story, why you decided to take on your life as a business. Why are you doing it as a business? Emphasize the aspect of part-time, additional income, talk about your dreams, and then come to the part where you explain what you need to do in order to start the new life business. Show them the registration form, how you filled it. You show it to the prospect. So that's why it's important for us to have the registration form, the application form with us, so that the prospect actually sees what it takes to start the new life business. Tell them how much is required, give them the amount, 238,000 to 65, depending on what they want. Share with them what it means to become a distributor. The fact that when you become a distributor, you have exclusive attention from Neolife. You are the one that picks up the products from Neolife and you're able to give them to the consumer. Not everybody can get products from Neolife. It's only people that are registered and have become independent distributors that can be able to pick up the products from Neolife. Okay, then take them through the daily habits using the products. I mean, after you have registered, you're now a distributor. You have to use the products. You have to share the product experience. When you share your product experience, you make a profit. The way you make money is very important, ladies and gentlemen. You need to bring it out very clearly to the other person to let them see that you make money through a profit. That the money you purchase the products at is different from the price you sell the products at. Okay, talk about how you share your business experience. And at this point, I like to also emphasize that we do not sponsor people just for the sake of sponsoring them. We don't just bring in people for the sake of bringing them in. We get people to use our products. The more people that come to use our products, the more the company pays us. That commission is based on the number of people that are coming to use our products. That's also very important. So I'll also share the financial benefits, the ones that talk about how you become a distributor, then at what money you earn as a manager, what money you earn as a senior manager, what money you earn as an executive manager, what money you earn as a director, and then as a loyalty member. Ladies and gentlemen, if you have not yet gotten to that level and you are presenting, talk about other people that have been able to get to that level. Probably show them in the lifestyle magazine, people that have gotten there, and how you yourself, you're also going to get there in a couple of moments. And then it's also important for you to show proof of payments from the company. The company gives us this money, so it's good for you to show the pay advice and show them how this money comes. It doesn't matter how big that pay advice is, whether it's 100,000, 200,000, 50,000. All the prospect wants to see is that actually the company actually does pay. And it's important for you to provide that proof. And then also explain the other benefits of Neolife, which involve personal development, explain the travel. The magazine also does a very good job in this particular place, the lifestyle magazine. Talk about legacy. That's why David Ebong's picture is there. May it so rest in peace. We are forever grateful to God for the time he was with us. And believe me, you gentlemen, for me, that is my motivation today. I do this business because of what I've seen David's business become. Ever since he passed on, which is now about 16, 15 years ago, the company continues to pay his family every single month as a result of what the system in your life is like. Okay. So basically, you're sharing your business story in that last part. How does one become a distributor? What happened when you started? That's what you're basically doing. And it's also important to note, as I now conclude, that it's good for you to respond to the question and objections as they come up. So if a guest raises an objection or a question, stop, explain the objection, explain the question, and get back on track to finish the presentation. Okay. And then don't forget, after that, you have to ask. This is how we close. You have to ask them to fill the form in case they need to start or get a product. Just ask them to fill the form so they can get the product from the company at the company price. That's the opportunity for us to register that person and have them become distributor. Encourage them to get products directly from Neolife. If they totally insist, then definitely show them the SRP price list, the suggested retail price list, and let them get the suggested retail price so that you make a profit. Then it's also important, as I close, to invite them for a bigger meeting. It could be on Zoom, it could be physical. This weekend, we have a big meeting on the 25th, right here in Kampala. It's important that you ask you ask the prospect to come over for the bigger meeting. Yes, MRK is also adding. Sometimes I ask the prospect whether they believe in the business or have ever done a business before, or they believe in a job. Yeah, yes, it's good to find out. And that's at that point there. Thank you very much, MRK. At this point here, that's when you're doing some soul searching about the prospect, trying to understand whether they've done business before, so that you're able to explain the remaining slides or the remaining pages appropriately. Ladies and gentlemen, that is the information, or that has been the presentation on how we actually do the one-on-one. If you can do these one-on-ones every single day, ladies and gentlemen, just do 2 people every single day. Contact them, sit down with them in that way, get them to appreciate what we have to offer in your life. Believe me, within a space of 7 months, you'll be earning an additional income of at least $500 every single month. People go to the university, have to study for 4 years, 3 years to acquire certain skills. This is the skill you have to acquire in your life for you to make money. This is the skill that is going to pay you money in your life. The moment you master how to pass on this information and how to present the new life solutions to distributors, to our prospects, then you're going to grow a big business, and that business is actually going to change your life. And all we have to do is to do 2 one-on-ones, take them through the book, take them through the solutions that New Life has to offer. You don't even need the book in a couple of times, because at the end of the day, once you understand the principle, talk about the skincare products, talk about the cleaning care, talk about the super grow, talk about the skincare, talk about the healthcare, then talk about your story. The moment you learn how to go through that flow, whether you have the presentation chart or not, you do not need worry. For as long as you are meeting new people, you'll always get an audience where people will be coming to use the products. The more people that come to use the products, the more successful you become. So I went overboard, but it was very, very much necessary. I would like to bring it to a close now.